Hello, we have given feedback for the test in lesson, but now for the benefit of those who missed the lesson, I'm going to record this again. In this video, we're not going to cover all the questions because one is I haven't got the test paper in front of me. Two is that some of the questions are too long, like the code comments for this video. So I'm going to concentrate on the last few questions. First, that is the easy question. List the possible events in Flash AS3 environment. These are the events. Okay, you have used some of them. Click and key down at least. Next one, list the possible events in the Microsoft Windows environment. Okay, again, this is easy. You use Windows almost every day. Click event, double click event, and the key down event. Okay, you may not have noticed mouse over, mouse out event. We'll have a look. And the plugging in of mouse and printer into USB port, they'll trigger beeps sometimes. Then they are treated as hardware events as well. And again, printers, if they are out of paper, you get a pop-up window on your screen, Windows screen. And that's an event as well. Okay, sensor sent event. Okay, here. That's my Windows. If I single click, it's highlighted. Double click, it's loading. Okay, let me go back again. Okay, mouse over, it shows information. Mouse out, reset. Out, over, the reaction. Okay, out, over, reaction. What are the key elements of EDP? The first method is that you can read the book. In section 1, it has explained all the features, elements. Method 2, if you haven't got the book in front of you or you can't remember what the book says, now what you can do is to observe an example and then draw your conclusion from that observation. So we're going to use this one. That's the one you used in the test. I said you need to create this one, create one like this in lesson. Okay, so what does it do? That one is a button. You click, it goes. So that button responds to clicks. And then this one will go back or come back again. Now this one doesn't react to anything. This one, click on it. You clicked. You have used a key up, left, up, left, right, yeah, and so on. This one, move, and this one back. So for each one of the objects, now you can see what it's doing. I click, it moves and updates the display. Okay, so that's what you observed, and then your conclusion should come in as this. The key elements of EDP are, first, button or the stage that is listening to the event. We call them objects. Okay, a button is object. The stage is the object, is the largest object in the Flash environment. And listener. Each object should have a listener to listen to one kind of event. If it doesn't listen, then you will miss that event. Then you won't be able to react. And then listener's job is to listen and calls the handler. A handler's job is to react. Okay, so the handler is the other key element. Okay, and they are all software programs, part of programs. And then the fourth one is event loop. Without the event loop, the program will only respond to any event once and then it stops. With the event loop, it keeps coming back and check and listens. Therefore, it can detect whenever you click it. It's like a night patrolman who regularly walks around the building to check everything happens. Okay, so if this one regularly checks, then if anyone comes in the middle of the night and breaks in, and he can find out. If he only checks once at the beginning, then everything happens after that will be missed. So this is an event loop. What does it do? It's a program calls the listeners regularly. So the listeners will be activated regularly and listen to events. That's key elements of EDP. Now, the next question is, do you think Windows can be viewed as an EDP program? Windows, you use Windows every day, like we've seen in the demonstration. Now, again, this one, you can't find answers in the book, so you have to draw your conclusion from your observation, your analysis. But first, you need to say, well, whether it is or is not, what is the criteria? Is there a set of criteria? There is. That is the interactivity. If it's EDP, that means it should provide interactivity based on the 4 key elements. Key elements are object, listeners, handlers, event loops. So Windows, does it have that? From our earlier observation, we know that Windows do have them. Have a look again. So this one, single click, highlighted. Single click, highlighted. Double click, loading, opening the program. I'll close that. Okay. Now I've got this folder in front of me. Mouse over, showing one is highlighted and also showing information in the box. Mouse out, everything goes, reset to initial state. Windows does have those key elements. The objects are the items on the desktop. They are called icons or list items. And they have listeners. If they don't have listeners, they wouldn't know I'm putting my mouse over it. And once the mouse over detected, and the response is highlighting and the information about the folder. Therefore, the answer is yes. Windows can be viewed as an EDP program. But in your answer, you need to support it with the analysis and your observations. Okay, the last question. Can EDP be used for a non-graphical program or non-graphical programs? First, what is a non-graphical program? It's a program that is not using or does not use GUI, graphical user interface. That means it's only using text-based interface. Now, the first example I can think of is the CMD, command prompt. This one, if I type in CLS, enter, goes. If I type dir, enter, comes with the list of the files and folders. That's a non-graphical program. Is this one an EDP? Again, you need the criteria. Does it have objects? Does it have listeners? Does it respond to events? Yeah, and if they do, and if also they do it anytime you do it, anytime you trigger the event, the response, then it is. This one is it actually at the moment is listening. I'm typing whatever in and checking what I've typed in. See, if I type in help, yeah, it produces different kind of response. If I type in help and it produces this kind of event response, it is responding to different kind of events. But now the event is keyboard based and triggered all by enter key. Okay, so the combination of the command and the enter key is one event in this case. Therefore, you can say yes, it can be used in this case. So EDP can be used for non-graphical programs based on, again, interactivity. If you have a non-graphical program that is interactive, respond to events, yes, it is EDP. Yeah, so therefore EDP can be used for that. If you don't need the interactivity, so your program knows what input it needs and it has got input and just runs from beginning to the end and give you output. Like once you've got the wages, hours, you can calculate the pay slips that automatically, then you don't need EDP. So the answer is yes, it can be used for non-graphical programs.